So we see a lot in the news. I think it's like, as I say, when I say we see a lot in the news, the two major narratives that reach Australia about Argentina are either basically Milei is doing great things are starting to show real signs of turnaround, and you're seeing those inflation figures come down, economic restraint in terms of spending, all that sort of stuff. And John Humphreys, who's an economist, soon to be colleague of yours, he has long said from the Australian Taxpayers Alliance here in Australia that all Australia would need to do would be to freeze new spending, and our budget would immediately, or like in very short order, like within 4 or 5 years, you would basically be back in the black. And that sounds like essentially what Milei has almost been doing, using the levers he has, is to say, okay, we're going to either freeze or reduce most kinds of government spending, as that's the way to, at least in the short term, do this repair while we don't have the power in the house. But the other narrative that I see that seems to be quite prevalent is that there is pushback or resentment or social unrest from parts of the Argentinian society that previously were benefiting from Peronism. And so whether it be people in the public service or former public servants, or people in some of these areas that almost were like the beneficiaries of some of these provincial arrangements or almost corruption type things. What is the feeling like on the ground in Argentinian society? Is it a case of some winners, some losers? Is there a widespread, what's the mood, I guess, in terms of how things are going?
So the losers belong to the political caste. What I think is, in social terms, I know the adjustment is painful. So cutting public jobs, reducing inflation, which actually leads to a reducing consumption, and also try to correct the monetary policy. It has been very tough.